Hi everyone, welcome back to Game Fishing Ireland's YouTube channel. I suppose first off, thanks to all the people who've subscribed and liked the videos. It's a great motivation to keep working. You may have noticed, in addition to the fly tying videos, I'm also now doing some fishing related videos, which I'll try and continue to do a bit more of as the season progresses. So I did one on one of the local still waters that we fished from a boat there recently, which was fairly well received. Got some good feedback on it. And what I did there a few days back, I was doing a session, and what I did was just a question I get asked a lot is about what flies for the early season. I'm talking December, January, February, really before any of your fly hatches start. So your first hatch tends to be duck fly, we call them, or small buzzer or small chironomid species. So what are they feeding on when there's no surface activity? What I did was I dispatched a trout, and I spooned that trout, and I'll play a little video clip in a few moments, just explaining what I found in that trout. Now it varies from lake to lake or loch, but some things are fairly consistent. So typically you're looking at some fry or minnow of some sort, and of course the trout had been feeding on those in the autumn, so maybe there's a bit of a residual memory there with your fry patterns. And then shrimp, hoglouse and snails tend to be the type of things on the bottom, and occasionally again you may get some types of nymphs, case caddis, but you'll see from the clip I'm about to show that in this particular trout it was primarily snail and shrimp bar louse. They look quite similar. So yeah, let's get to showing you that clip first of all. So we've a whole bunch of snails here, you see, and then we've some hoglouse shrimp type flies here. This is the stomach contents of a fish. These orange ones they're not actually orange, they turn that colour when they're either dead or in the trout stomach. The hotspot shrimp, the pattern that you see, is different. It has a parasite in it. When you see the whole shrimp is peachy orange colour, that generally means it just turned that colour in the fish. It wasn't that colour starting off, it was an olive or a brown or whatever. So I have one or two other tiny items, but you can see from one trout there, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 20 snails, and probably about the same in louse. So hopefully you found that little clip interesting. You can, it's probably better all around for the fish to dispatch a fish, and obviously there are bag limits, and this wasn't a wild trout, so it wasn't too big a deal to dispatch one trout, but it was an overwintered trout, so it had been feeding naturally since the end of last year, and you can see from the contents, and it was feeding quite well. So I suppose the next question then is, what types of flight patterns would you use for those insects? So I mentioned earlier that you have your fry being a staple. Now zonkers, minkies, that type of thing, so something like this. This is my mosaic zonker, but any kind of zonker or minky lures effectively that might represent a small fish or a leech can be good patterns in the winter months. In terms of the shrimp and hoglouse, here in Ireland, one of the mainstay will be dabblers. This is one of my hare's ear dabbler patterns, and that hare's ear dabbler is a good fly. Again, trying to match the colours. Sometimes they're olivey, golden olive. Hare's ears is a sort of a good colour as well for those bugs or insects, if you like. Other than that, then we have the snails, and it depends on the colour of the snails. Sometimes they're quite small and black, and typical flies like your black and peacock spider. Those flies still work. People maybe underfish them these days, but they still work. And for the other snails, again, check the colour. Are they tan or fawn? I've seen boobies work for snails in the right size and colours. Sometimes they'll take a blob, but blobs are a bit flashy, although you can get some reasonably translucent materials. The one I like to use is this baby here. So if you were to rewind it in a while and look at those snails and look at this in this size or smaller, this is what we refer to as my bunny blob, and you can hopefully get the idea how this would look when it's wet. I'll probably do a timed video on the bunny blob in the coming days. It's a serious fish catcher, and particularly can be quite good in the early season with the mixture of the typical blob type materials and the more natural looking materials. So that might be one to watch out for. Hopefully you find that interesting, and remember to like and subscribe. See you again soon.